Hi guys, this is Ritika Gopikrishna, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about WhatsApp's new privacy policy. The reason why I felt I should be doing this is because WhatsApp has been updating that policy itself multiple times or giving new information about it every now and then. So people are finding it really difficult to understand what the policy is about, and it's not right to go forward accepting it and using WhatsApp without understanding what it is, because our privacy and our security really depends on that. Basically, the bottom line of this new privacy policy that's been coming on our phones is the fact that WhatsApp is going to share some information to Facebook. But the questions we have in mind is what information, how much information, why is it sharing information? When I say WhatsApp is sharing this information, is sharing its information not only to Facebook but also Facebook owned companies like Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, and basically any application that Facebook has bought. Moving over to the questions you guys have, I'd like to break it up into 5 parts. The first part is, are our messages private? Second part is, so what data is actually shared then? How is WhatsApp making profit out of this? Should we continue using WhatsApp? And fifth part is, are there any alternatives? There are a lot of memes that are coming about saying Mark Zuckerberg is reading all our messages and entertaining himself, and all of these kind of make it very confusing for us to understand a lot of things about this privacy policy. And what you have to understand is, no matter what, your messages to your friends and family are going to remain private. It's still end-to-end encrypted like before, and nobody is going to get to read them. What do I mean by end-to-end encrypted? When you send a message, basically it goes in an encrypted format to the server of WhatsApp, and then from there, in the same encrypted format without getting decrypted, it's sent to the receiver, right? So now there is no a man in the middle attack where somebody is kind of decrypting it in the middle. So basically this messaging system is so secure that if you send a message, it goes to the server, and after it gets delivered to the receiver, immediately it gets deleted from the WhatsApp server. So only in few events it does not get deleted, and even if it does not, it's going to stay in the encrypted format. So when does it not get deleted? During a time, say when your message doesn't get delivered because the other person's offline, then the message is going to stay on the server for some time till the message gets delivered, the other person comes online or whatever like that. As soon as the other person comes online, the message gets delivered, and again it's wiped off the server of WhatsApp. That is one event. The other event is when you send media files. So when it gets forwarded, it should keep knowing where the origin was, right? So basically that is also going to be stored temporarily on the WhatsApp server in an encrypted format, but we still don't know how much this temporary means. But the bottom line is, you don't have to worry about the messages that you send your friends and family, because that is no way accessible to anybody but you and the person you're sending it to, even your group conversations, even your private messages. Suppose WhatsApp is not taking all these messages, then what exactly is it taking, and why is it gaining so much notoriety in the society right now? It is because WhatsApp is collecting some other kind of information, say hardware information, like what's your phone model, what's your signal strength, what is your IP address, what is your battery levels. That is one. Another is log information. That is basically what's written in your about section, what's in the group description, what's the group's name, what's the group photo, what's your profile photo. All this while WhatsApp apparently doesn't take your location unless you use location based services like you're sharing a live location to somebody. But what we don't tend to understand is WhatsApp has our IP address also, and using this IP address, WhatsApp can access your location as well. And then there are third-party services. For example, if suppose you're using a news app, and at the bottom of the app you have this option of sending that news article to your friend or something, so then WhatsApp can get access to the information, as in what news article were you going through. So with that, it can understand what kind of news you're interested in, and what news app you also use. Other third-party applications they use is, when you use an in-app player, you use YouTube and you can watch it within the chat itself, right? So that information about what video you're watching and what app you're using, mostly YouTube, is also recorded. So about all this, there's a little more information about what other third-party apps you can use, and a little more detailed explanation of the other stuff I explain. If you're really curious, you can go check it out. But I think I've covered most important things that are really, really relevant to us. Facebook bought WhatsApp for billions of dollars, so there has to be some profit the company is getting from WhatsApp, right? But even though WhatsApp claims that it's free, I can tell you how our information might be used. We're not really sure if it is used in that way, especially because WhatsApp claims it's not used. I could tell you what is probably happening behind the scenes. So you have to understand this feature of WhatsApp, which is called business account. So if suppose you're communicating with a business and you want to order something, you place that order via WhatsApp chat. So the person you're talking to has a business account. Conversations with business accounts are not end-to-end encrypted. It is mainly for two reasons WhatsApp has decided to do it. One reason is because WhatsApp wants to identify if there is any spam and eliminate it, which is actually a good thing. And the second thing is, if suppose the business account you're speaking to has a third party service that's helping it maintain communication, it is better if it is not end-to-end encrypted. So because of these two reasons, it's not end-to-end encrypted, but because it is not, the messages could be used in some other way to understand our preferences by WhatsApp or by Facebook, and those advertisements could be shown on say Instagram or Facebook. So say tomorrow if you're going to chat with your florist, don't be surprised if you're going to see a floral shop advertisements on your Instagram or Facebook feed. We should understand that if we're going to use WhatsApp only to communicate with our friends and family, then it's pretty secure because it's going to be end-to-end encrypted. It's actually much better than Facebook and Instagram and even SMS, because all these three do not have end-to-end encrypted service. And Instagram also has this feature of, because obviously both are both their business model itself is advertisements. The messages you send to your friend on Instagram, though Instagram claims that they do not go through all your messages, they have this algorithm that runs through your messages and searches for keywords, and based on that advertisements are given in your feed. So suppose you're talking to your friend today about you being interested to buy a PS5, tomorrow you're going to find on your feed advertisements for PS5. So that's what happens. WhatsApp doesn't do that because it doesn't access your private messages at all, and so in that way I feel it's pretty good. But if you're going to interact with business accounts, you should be comfortable with the fact that somebody's WhatsApp is going to identify what your messages are like and give you advertisements, may give you advertisements on Instagram or Facebook, or you could just not use business accounts. So it's up to you. So when we come to the alternatives, two popular alternatives are Signal and Telegram. The reason why these two are very good is because Signal, mainly the founder is not interested in earning money from the app at all. So you can expect that there's not going to be advertisements on the app ever. So even Telegram's founder is not going to end up putting advertisements or looking into your messages. And Telegram is so secure that the founder of Telegram itself told people that if somebody is able to hack into the system and get access to somebody's messages, then the founder would pay the person $300,000, and it has never happened so far because it's so secure. So personally, what is my take on it? Like I had said in the second last module, you can still go for it if you're going to chat only with your friends and family because it's going to be secure. But if you're going to use it for business accounts, then you should be okay with the fact that the messages are going to be accessible by Facebook. And other than that, your log information and your hardware information is going to be collected. And if suppose you're actually very uncomfortable, you just don't have to keep a profile photo, or you don't have to keep your name, or you don't have to keep an about information if you're very picky about that too. And about location, since location, even if you're not going to use location based services like sending your live location, it's going to get it by our IP address. So the way you can stop this accessing of location based on IP addresses by using a VPN. Something else that is very disturbing about what WhatsApp is doing or what Facebook is doing is this fact that India has a separate set of policy rules compared to European Union, because obviously European Union has much more stringent data protection laws. I don't even think we have proper data protection laws in place in India, and that is why we have this different set of rules, and I think that's completely unfair. And the only thing we can do for companies like Facebook to not take advantage of countries like ours is by pushing the government to implement more stringent data protection laws. So I hope this has given you a clear picture on what the privacy policy is. So it's up to you to decide if you really want to shift. If you want to shift, then use these 3 months, because May you would be given an ultimatum to accept it, and if you're not accepting it, you just have to continue with the app itself. They're not going to delete the app. They're going to make it a given that you have accepted the policy post May. So then till then you can decide. I don't think it's big problem because I'm not going to use a business account, so mostly I continue using WhatsApp, because it also depends on the comfort level of people who I speak to and which app they prefer, because if they're going to opt out of WhatsApp, then what's the point of you just being on WhatsApp without anybody to talk? So that's why, guys, I hope this has been useful. And if you guys want me to break down anything else, then feel free to type it down in the comments and I'll look at it. And I'll keep updating you on the information about WhatsApp's privacy policy, because they keep changing every now and then. I'll let you guys know. So, yeah. If you guys want to listen to more such videos or watch more such videos, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you already have, you guys have my heart. So bye, guys.